world was young, the mountains green, no stain yet on the moon was seen.
Then with a crash came a great ringing shout. Ra, boom, ra.
3 rings for the elven kings under the sky, 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone, 9 for mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the dark lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie.
It was our parents. Yeah, they really nailed that.
They did. Yeah, they really did.
Yeah.
Talking about Tolkien, Ben.
Talking about Tolkien.
Not his son, who was alive during that best time ever.
Oh, well, he got to fight in the war, though.
Oh, that's true. He wasn't. Yeah, you're right. It would have to be the next generation then.
Yeah.
You want coming right after the big war, and in one of the countries that won, so you could reap all that benefit.
No, definitely.
America.
Yeah, the best time and place to be alive was America, like 1960. Well, depends if you get drafted or into Vietnam. Like 1970 and 1980 wasn't too bad. 1970 and 1990 was pretty solid, I think.
Yeah.
Make your fortune, buy up all the property, and rent it to me. So, the Battle of the Pelennor Fields, Chapter 6 of Book 5 of Return of the King.
Yeah, Book 5 of compilation Book 3.
Book 5 of Volume 3.
Of the 5-book series.
This is the big one. This is what everybody remembers. This is the big fight from the movie. Last time we had the Ride of the Rohirrim, and I will say the one thing that the movie did pretty well is I think the Theoden speech takes all of the best speech bits from everybody who gives a speech in any of these chapters around it, and they put it all into the Theoden speech, and it sounds really epic and really awesome. And the speech he gives in the book is pretty good, but like the whole like we ride for ruin and the world's ending, Éomer says that in this chapter, but Éomer's suicidal. So
Oh yeah.
I guess Theoden was kind of suicidal.
They're all kind of suicidal.
Yeah.
They know that they're riding into a battle they probably won't be riding out of.
Oh, so do you want to kick it off? I know you had some thoughts about this.
Yeah, it starts with the Witch King being like, "Oh, thank God, another any reason to not have to 1v1 Gandalf right now. I'll deal with you later. You're real lucky, wizard. I was this close, but I gotta go deal with this."
Yes. The world had turned against him, as Tolkien puts it.
Yeah, I mean, but he's still got lots of army.
He's got lots of army.
Even as the Rohirrim are scattering and slaughtering all kinds of men and orc, there's still army after army after army on the field. We just need to regroup and rally. The first casualties are the southern Haradrim men who use scimitars.
The drawing of their scimitars was like the glittering of stars.
Yeah, it goes real well for them. When they see Theoden and they decide, we're going to get him.
He's alone, get him. He's only got his Kingsguard around him. He doesn't have like a big company or anything.
And Theoden fucks them up.
Great was the clash of their meeting. But the white fury of the Northmen, maybe we don't say white fury of the Northmen, but the white fury of the Northmen burned hotter, and more skilled was their knighthood with long spears. So I guess there's a couple of things there. He keeps calling everybody knights. I don't know if they're really knights. I guess if you ride a horse, you're a knight.
It's possible. Talked about this.
We talked about it. It's possible.
They're professional army in like the thousands.
I don't know if it fits
Not-
with the Beowulf
It's not
culture.
impossible.
Like Beowulf did.
Yeah, maybe.
Beowulf wasn't a knight, but whatever.
Yeah, but Beowulf also didn't live right next to like the remains of Atlantis with this technological paradise. So
He was so close to Denmark, though. That's kind of like the Atlantis of the North. I think the Rohirrim have the advantage here, though, because they use spears. Spear and lance.
yeah, they're longer.
What you would want to use on a horse. You can see in the movie. It's. We've talked about this before. In the movie, very few people are actually using spears with their horses because I think, practically speaking, it's just really dangerous to have a bunch of people on horses with spears.
Well, I mean, we're using guns with real bullets on set, so
well, and that hasn't historically gone well. But yeah, I mean, you could very easily hurt a horse or a rider, and you don't want to do that on a movie set. Totally get that. But you can see in the scenes where a lot of it's CG, but the close-up shots where they're actually swinging the swords and stuff, you can see the stuntmen who are like reaching back to swing the swords. Like, it's so awkward. They can barely reach anything. Like they're barely hitting the hats of the people in front of them.
yeah, it's not a real long range. Yeah,
No, you want a spear if you're fighting from a horse.
that's why swords were often sidearms in a lot of cultures. Especially because if someone is coming at you with horses and you're on foot, you want a big spear. You don't want to try and stab them with a sword as they trample you to death.
I rewatched the Battle of the Pelennor Fields in preparation for this episode. I rewatched that part of the movie. And the charge of the Rohirrim it's so epic. Like, all the work the actors do is so epic. I really like the acting. The CG, it wasn't intended to be watched in like 8K on my giant TV. It falls apart a little, but it still mostly holds up. But the one thing that made me laugh is they take out the orcs. They have these little like composite bows or something. I'm not a big archery guy, but they look like small bows. And they fire off a bunch of quick shots. And when a horse gets hit with one of these arrows, they go down like they just hit a rock at 100 miles an hour. They just crumple. Like old school,
just like in real life.
Video game physics. It hits them and they just immediately fall with the impact of the arrow and just bash the rider's face off the ground. And I'm like, I don't know how that would go, but
in real life, it would only enrage the horse more.
You'd have to hit a horse like real particular for that like instant down, I think.
Yeah, because I mean, even deer get shot with all manner of firearms, and you want to be careful to take them out so they don't run away and then die in agony.
I was gonna say so they don't run away and you got to go find them, but yeah, died in agony.
Yeah, both.
Yeah,
all that agony is gonna spoil the meat.
And I also like,
it doesn't taste as good.
There's a couple of wide shots where you could see the orcs getting knocked down like bowling pins because the 1999 CG collision detection,
pre-9/11 world, man.
It doesn't. It's detecting when the orc got hit, but not where, and so it doesn't show.
It's a pre-Grand Theft Auto Vice City world, Ben.
This isn't like a big criticism of the movie. It still mostly holds up, but it definitely holds up better than most CGI from that time, for sure. But you notice it. Like, I could tell that's an almost 30-year-old movie.
Jesus.
But yeah, and the composition of the armies is a little different because it's not the age of the orc. It was never intended to be the age of the orc.
Yeah, there sure are a lot of men fighting. They mention orcs, but there's the southern men, there's the easterling men. They seem to be doing the bulk of the fighting here.
There's the southern men, there's the men from further south.
Yes, there's two.
I will talk about in a little bit,
men.
Which are unfortunately described. Not helping the racism allegations. But before we get into that, I do want to describe the fell beast that the Witch King rides, because
it smells.
It does smell
really, really bad.
like a seal. It smells. It's a little Odyssey cross reference for you. We get so much. Probably everything we know about the fell beast comes from this description.
We did mention that Theoden slayed the king, the Haradrim king.
Yeah, took him out.
Yeah.
But then his luck kind of runs out, because he's like, all of a sudden, there's a darkness that comes over the men after he slays this king, and the horses start rearing, and they throw the men to the ground, and the men don't get back up. They're just huddling in terror. And Theoden's like, to me, fear no darkness. But then his horse starts rearing up, and then somebody shoots him, and then the horse falls on him. And
yeah, that's unfortunate.
They're really
my legs. Oh God, I needed those to fight.
They're really hard on the horse about this. Like, everybody likes the horse.
They call him Theoden's Bane.
Yeah, they
it's not the horse's fault. What the fuck? You had him try to fight some sort of demonic creature.
They give snowmen a burial with honors, but like the honors are maybe like, you don't have to.
And they sing a song about like,
you don't have to carve everything on the runestone, you know.
Yeah, you could maybe left that last part about being Theoden's Bane out. You know, it's a great horse, fiercely loyal to his king, led him into battle. You just leave it there.
Yeah, I didn't plan to get shot by an eldritch abomination. I'm just a horse, guys. But the fell beast. Did
he get shot, or did he get clawed by the beast?
He was hit with a black dart. He crashed upon. No, I think it was Snowman was hit with the black dart. I'm sorry, it was not Theoden. Snowman got hit with a black dart, and then he falls on his side, pins Theoden beneath him.
Yeah. Next time that you get shot and start dying, could you like fall the other way? You know,
you try to roll when you land.
Yeah, you gotta roll when you. I learned that from Zelda: Ocarina of Time. You roll when you land. That's just good practice.
Then we see what shot him, as the fell beast descends, and behold, it was a winged creature. If a bird, then greater than all other birds, and it was naked. And neither quill nor feather did it bear, and its vast pinions were webs of hide between horned fingers, and it stank.
Yeah, it was naked and stinky.
A creature of an older world, maybe it was, whose kind, lingering in forgotten mountains, cold beneath the moon, outstayed their day, and in hideous eyrie bred this last untimely brood, apt to evil. And the Dark Lord took it, and nursed it with fell meats, until it grew beyond the measure of all other things that fly, and he gave it to his servant to be his steed. That's like the most we ever get to learn. I know more about how this thing was made than the orcs.
Name. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, we don't even know this thing's name. Yeah. It's called a fell beast.
Yeah.
Well, you're not allowed to know about the orcs, and don't think about them. Because they're all evil and they need to be destroyed, Ben.
Yeah, no, Tolkien could just kind of free write this one, consequence free. But yes, the Witch King, the Nazgul, he descends upon Theoden. And all of his knights lie slain or destroyed by madness. Yet there was one who still stood.
Except for one.
Durnhelm.
I found out the picture.
I found out the Frazetta Museum is in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, and I've been to East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. There's an amazing pancake place, not much else, but apparently the Frazetta Museum's there. I need to go. I've got to go back. They are sold out of the Lord of the Rings prints, because you better believe I'm framing that Eowyn versus the Witch King if I ever get it. But yes, Dernhelm the young, faithful beyond fear, and he wept not unlike a girl, for he had loved his lord as a father. I mean, hey, anyone can weep. Éomer tells people not to weep, but he's weeping while he does it, so it's okay. And they unfortunately we do peel back a little bit here, and in the ensuing chaos of the Witch King's descent and the madness spell he casts on everything around him, her horse did also rear up, and they were also thrown. And I don't know if she fell on Mary or but they're both kind of crawling around. And
yeah, so this is Dernhelm's gonna stand between the Witch King and Theoden, and that's where you get the "don't come between a Nazgul and its prey."
Yes. And the speech, I can understand why they didn't adapt this, word for word into the movie. It's a little
Otherwise, we won't kill you. We'll take you back to.
I was gonna say it gets a little Shakespearean at a certain point. Like, come not between the Nazgul and his prey, or he will not slay thee in thy turn. He will bear thee away to the houses of lamentation, beyond all darkness, where thy flesh shall be devoured, and thy shriveled mind be left naked to the lidless eye. Now that is a lidless eye reference. Peter Jackson could have used that. But yeah, it's is he gonna torture her?
Yeah, good old fashioned torture. And he says, "No man may hinder me." And that's when we get the big reveal. Dernhelm pulls off.
And picture,
helmet.
please, the Frazetta Dernhelm.
Yes.
And the
pantsless Dernhelm.
The only way you know that Dernhelm is actually a woman is when they take off that helm.
Well, yeah, the Witch King sees this and he pauses for a moment. A little bit of hesitation, but what's going through his head, and this didn't make it into the book, was like, oh, thank God. I was looking at this guy, and I was starting to maybe question what I'm into.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, I know at this point
a woman.
It's incorporeal and it doesn't really matter, but the parts of me were confused. But no, and I'm going to give you a rare admission that maybe the movie did something a little bit better. And that is that this exchange between the Witch King and Éowyn in the book, little wordy, does rob it of some of the punch. Or in the movie, we all know she takes off the helm. I am no man. Stabs him in the face. In this, but no living man am I. You look upon a woman. Éowyn I am, Éomen's daughter. You stand between me and my lord and kin. Begone, if you be not deathless, for living or dark undead, I will smite you if you touch him. I think in the movie she just says, I'll kill you if you touch him. And that worked.
Yeah, well, she killed the fell beast with one strike.
Yep. That is as it plays out in the movie. And
Mary's over there trying not to get noticed.
Well, this is another halflings are good rogues. He's sneaking around behind, and when he realizes it's Éowyn, he's been succumbing to the Nazgul's spell, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
But when he realizes that's Éowyn there,
gets some of that courage.
Suddenly, the slow-kindled courage of his race awoke, and that's kind of a backhanded compliment. But he vowed that she should not die, or at least she should not die alone. And he sneaks around, and as he's sneaking around, that's when the fell beast lashes out, and Éowyn chops its head off. And that's when he lets his mace drop. I didn't get the vibe in the book that it was a flail. Is that what he uses in the movie? The one that's on a chain?
I don't remember him using one on a chain, but
it's on it for sure. It's on a chain.
Okay, I think he just had a straight up mace.
Yeah,
and people often confuse a mace with a flail.
Yeah,
so
I think Peter Jackson.
Well, he hit her with a mace. Yeah, hit her with a mace. which shatters her shield and also her arm.
Yeah, break.
I think you're supposed to dodge that attack. You know, you weren't supposed to try and block. That was a dodge.
So I will say, in the movie, and I could buy that this is how it's set up in the book. She's literally standing between the Witch King and Theoden. If she doesn't block, if she dodges, she does dodge the first couple in the movie, but the one she chooses to take on the shield, I think that would have just hit Theoden if she rolled out of the way, because she kind of lands in the movie. She takes it on the left hand, and then I think she winds up pressed up against Theoden's horse. So like literally that thing would have just exploded the horse on top of Theoden.
Fucking horse. Not just Theoden's bane, but Eowyn's bane as well.
What's the horse's name? Snowmane?
Snowmane?
More like Snowbane.
Oh, got him.
Got him. So right as he's sneaking around, Merry is. So the Witch King is about to finish her off. And then Merry pulls his barrow white blade. We are going to talk about what that significance is in just a second.
And he pierces the sinew beneath his mighty knee.
It does say he pierced the sinew beneath his mighty knee. That is the exact quote.
Yeah.
And then Tolkien uses words that people don't use anymore. He does that a lot in this chapter. There's a lot of people who are blenching away from things.
I saw that. I was like, I'm sure that's that sure.
She also calls the
context clues.
She calls the Witch King, I would think blanching is how I would say that. Maybe that's just a British spelling.
I don't know.
No, she also calls him like a Dwemer-like or something. A little bit of Old English that's a little bit beyond my powers at the moment. So Merry stabs him, and then Merry, the black breath, the poison of the ring rays takes Merry. And in that moment, the Witch King stumbles. Eowyn seizes that opportunity to shove her sword into his face.
Good call.
Whereupon it explodes. And she falls forward onto the Witch King. But the Witch King there's a scream that goes up, and it rises into the atmosphere. And when she falls on the Witch King, she falls on an empty hauberk and a robe.
Yeah, he Obi-Wan Kenobi'd.
He became,
but with a little more violence.
With the Force.
Yeah.
And then Tolkien puts it in an interesting way. A voice bodiless and thin that died and was swallowed up and was never heard again in that age of this world. That feels like sequel potential to me. So
let's do it.
Hey, if Stephen Colbert can, why can't I? Let me write a movie. I could be friends with Peter Jackson. Probably not after everything I've said, but I wouldn't take it back. So then I'll go ahead and say I think maybe the movie does one better thing here. In the book, Eowyn's out. She's done. She collapsed. She caught the black breath full in the face. She's poisoned. She's out. Merry, he manages to crawl over to Theoden, and he hears Theoden's last words, which is a little underwhelming compared to the movie. I will say. In the movie, it's a lot more impactful when it's Eowyn, the woman who is basically...
Eomer also manages to come upon them.
Theoden does keep waking up.
Yeah, he keeps going in and out for a bit.
He dies a real anime death. He can talk to everyone, and that's the thing. He talks to everyone except Eowyn.
And tell Eowyn that...
I'm so glad she stayed home. I'm so glad she wasn't here to see this.
Mary's about to say, like, my lord, right over there, like literally right next to you, but then they're interrupted by, there's battle going on right now. And all that happened in about, I think it was either 4 or 6 pages. Like it went pretty quick.
Yeah, no.
That was pretty solid pacing.
If this were or Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson, this would have been 3 books.
Yeah.
But they like to do things cinematically.
Yeah, that's real cinematic.
Describing pictures to people is cinematic.
And also describing what you're going to do in the future, that's called foreshadowing. And if you do it 4 or 5 times in a row, that's called five shadowing.
That's how you know it's great. But yes, so Mary's kind of out of it, but he does manage to look around, remembering he's in the midst of a war. I can understand why he's disoriented. And he says he sees the Mumakil.
Yeah, apparently we have different elephants.
What do you mean?
Are these not elephants?
Mhm.
But Sam called them something else.
Sam called them oliphants.
Yeah.
But I think in the language of the people that actually have them, they're Mumakil.
Oh, okay.
And they have their war towers upon them. I don't think they're quite Godzilla-sized the way they are in the movie, but they're pretty big. And the horses, they don't go near them. Nobody's riding between their legs, cutting hamstrings.
Where's Legolas when we need him to climb up one and quickly fire a bunch of arrows real quick, as you do with a bow and arrow, famously known for just being able to...
Yeah, really none of that happens. But as the Mumakil take the field, Eomer rides up and he sees Theoden and he freaks out and he says, "Now, this is really upsetting to all of us. I'm crying, you're crying, but we can't. We got to rally. We can't let our emotions get the best of us." And then after about 20 minutes of talking to people and arranging for Theoden to be taken away, Eomer realizes that his sister is lying on the ground, to all appearances dead. He does not check to make sure she's dead.
No, this is his Super Saiyan moment. He just watched Krillin die, and he's ready to just unleash.
And this is where he says, "Death, ride to ruin and the world's ending," which is an amazing line, no matter who says it.
And he charges into the enemy.
Yes, and all the Rohirrim are crying, "Death, death."
They're doing a lot of damage, but like you said, the horses aren't going to go near the Mumakil, so the enemy is starting to rally around them for a counterattack.
That is true. And now we do take a brief pause in the action for some exposition about a sword, which is why I'm here. And this is where we are. Merry, he wants to rejoin the fray. Now, his right arm feels like it has been robbed of its soul. So he's going to have to go left-handed for a little while, but he's looking around for his sword.
Oh, man, you could, never mind. Anyway.
Never mind, indeed. So he finds the blade, but it is on fire. More so than a blade should be.
Metal as fuck.
It is crumbling to dust. It writhes and is consumed. And I'll just read this bit. "So passed the sword of the Barrow Downs, work of Westerness. But glad would he have been to know its fate, who wrought it so slowly long ago in the northern kingdom when the Dunedain were young, and chief among their foes was the dread realm of Angmar and its sorcerer king. No other blade, not though mightier hands had wielded it, would have dealt that foe a wound so bitter, cleaving the undead flesh, breaking the spell that knit the unseen sinews to his will, especially about and around the knee."
The mighty knee.
And this and some details in future chapters will sort of confirm, at least for me, I don't know if this is still controversial, but Merry has a magic blade.
Yeah.
His magic blade was forged by people who were in battle with the Witch King. It was forged to defeat the Witch King and the creatures like him. And it is this that renders the Witch King vulnerable to Eowyn's final attack. If Merry had not stabbed the Witch King with the blade from the Barrow Downs, then Eowyn would not have been able to kill the Witch King. It is not simply because she is a woman that she was able to kill him. That's just a little trick of prophecy and fate and everything, that a woman was destined to kill him because this moment was destined to happen. But it's Mary's barrow blade that creates the opportunity. So it's another one of those synchronicities. And then they also mention that they take the king. They order, as Éomer charges to his death, they order a couple of guys to take the king into Gondor. And this is where we find out that later they did erect, they did dig a grave for the horse, and they set a stone upon it, which read, "Faithful servant, yet master's bane. Lightfoot's foal, swift snowmane." They even made it rhyme.
And the fell beast, they burned its carcass, and grass never grew again where it had been burned.
So Mary's, he's going to follow the guys who are taking Theoden's body into the city. They're taking Theoden, they're taking Éowyn.
Yeah, so then we start getting some names. There's Prince Imrahil, which we know him.
So he's the big one. You got to know.
Hurin the Tall and Hurlin of the Green Hills.
I think it's Hirluin.
Whatever. So here's the problem. My shit auto-corrected, which is really annoying. I don't know what the name of the Morgul leader was.
Gothmog?
Gortham or Gothmog? Okay, that's what it was. It auto-corrected to Gotham, like this is Batman or something. But then there's also the Variags of Khand?
Yeah, he's dropping all kinds of little world building stuff.
And the half-troll men of Harad.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. So, real quick, couple of names from the Silmarillion. Hurin the Tall Hurin the Tall. Hurin, the children of Hurin. That is a story in the Silmarillion. Gothmog, the lieutenant of Morgul, I believe is an orc. I think that's what we're to take from this. Gothmog is, of course, the name of the boss Balrog in the Silmarillion. So those are some names he reappropriated for this moment. And apparently, I don't know, it raises an interesting question if Gothmog is an orc. Because Hurin, yeah, people name, how many Jameses and Charleses are there? It makes sense that people would keep naming their kids after old kings. But it'd be weird that an orc would name their child Gothmog after, like, presumably what would be like a god to them. But then it is Gothmog who, realizing the Witch King...
I mean, we have Jesus, so...
We have Jesus? Well, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. All the Gospels.
Nate, yeah.
Nathaniel is a Hebrew. So is Benjamin.
Yeah. Yeah, I told one of my final days at work in the hospital, like fucking 9 years ago now. They're like, "Where's that name come from?" And I was like, "I think it's in the Bible." And then that's when he like revealed his trap card. I don't know if he was a pastor or a chaplain or what, but he said it wasn't in the Bible. And now you are confirming he was wrong, so I know more about the Bible than him.
I said it was Hebrew. I didn't say it was in the Bible.
Whatever. It might as well be in the Bible if it's Hebrew.
The entire language is attested in that book. Okay, so
checkmate. I will take your priestly vestments or whatever it is. I don't even know what you did in the church. Maybe he's a bishop. Maybe I can get one of those cool hats.
But yeah, so Gothmog the orc, he recognizes that they are in trouble, that Gondor is mounting a much better defense than they were expected. They had several companies held in reserve, specifically to sack the city. He's going to deploy them to the front line. They are the Variags of Khand. Southrons in scarlet, and out of far Harad, black men like half-trolls with white eyes and red tongues.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, we just yeah.
That's an unfortunate description. I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on what does he mean by half troll? I don't really know. Does he mean that they're big?
They're larger?
Yeah.
And
that's kind of what I took from it. I guess it could mean ugly, which would be kind of racist. Not a great description. A little of its time. But then, once these reinforcements come out, fighting's pretty even. Actually, Éomer's starting to get himself into trouble. Turns out, charging into the middle of everybody, thinking you were going Super Saiyan, it's not that kind of book. You're not going Super Saiyan. You're still just a guy on a horse with a spear. And though you are a big, tough guy on a horse with a spear, that still only counts for so much, especially when there's elephants and shit. So, not going great. Imrahil.
Yeah, he's kind of getting surrounded.
Imrahil's on the field. Imrahil's the one that's just actually discovered that Eowyn was alive because he stopped to check. And Imrahil is trying his best to back Éomer up, and that's when all hope is lost.
The
black
mass of the Corsairs.
The black ships, the Corsairs of Umbar. They appear on the horizon.
That means all those towns along the coast, they've fallen. And yeah, we're screwed. That's it. Game over, man.
They're going to unload another army from the river.
And we were already struggling with like the 3 or 4 armies we were already fighting. So this is the final nail in the coffin.
But then Chekhov's banner. So Éomer's looking, and he's freaking out. He's like, "Wow, we're all dead." But then
prepping a last stand on a little hill.
Yep, he's getting the shield wall ready. Then he sees it. There flowered a white tree, and that was for Gondor. But 7 stars were about it, and a high crown above it. The signs of Elendil. I'm surprised it didn't just say Elendil in capital letters. The signs of Elendil that no lord had borne for years beyond count. And the stars flamed in the sunlight, for they were wrought of gems by Arwen, daughter of Elrond. And the crown was bright in the morning, for it was wrought of mithril and gold. Thus came Aragorn, son of Arathorn, Elisar, Isildur's heir, out of the paths of the dead. The paths of the dead?
No, you shouldn't go there.
I can't believe he came through there. And out of the ships leap Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli, and other equally familiar names like Halberad, Elladan, and Elrohir. I do know who they are. And the Dunedain, Rangers of the North. And then a great valor of the folk of Lebanon and Lamadon.
Pronounced Lebanon?
And the fiefs of the south. And so at length, Éomer and Aragorn meet again in the midst of battle. And they actually take a moment to like stop, lean on their swords, catch their breath, and be like, fucking told you I was coming, bro. And he's like, I'm so happy to see you, bro. And they hug and they like they clap each other on the back. And their gaze lingers in each other's eyes for just a little too long, and then they go back to fighting. Interestingly enough, you know what doesn't get off the ship?
An army of ghosts?
Correct.
Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed there was a distinct lack of an entire army of ghosts.
That is correct. I've always kind of wondered why they did that in the movie.
Because then we don't have to introduce the southern fiefdoms.
But like...
Or the Dunedain.
isn't that way cheaper to just hire a bunch of dudes for art? Like Aragorn goes through the paths of the dead. You can still meet the ghosts or whatever. But then, the ghosts help him take out the Corsairs. And then they sail in with a bunch of people he rescued. Like, why not just sail in with a bunch of people? I guess CGI a bunch of ghosts.
Not as dramatic.
I think it's way more dramatic. What are you talking about?
We need to have an army of CGI ghosts kill them.
And,
did you see that Grand Moff Tarkin was in there too?
If it were this day and age, they probably would. They probably would have CG'd like Tupac and Grand Moff Tarkin and Michael Jackson.
Tupac and Grand Moff Tarkin. Two people who are definitely hanging out.
Hey, they're both in the Disney servers as we speak. So yes, it is an army. It is a battle mostly of humans versus humans.
Yeah.
And
some like half troll looking men. We don't know what that means exactly, but we don't want to like linger on that point too much. But yeah, mostly man on man.
He pays them a small compliment. Even though they basically had won it, the fighting was still hard. For the Southrons were bold men and grim and fierce in despair. And the Easterlings were strong and war-hardened and asked for no quarter. So at the very least, he kind of compliments them as warriors. And by the end of the day, because they're so fierce and because this is another Tolkien making the mythology thing, you're probably wondering why the people in the East and the South don't have stories about this. Well, I thought of that. And that's because not really many survivors.
Yeah, they're all dead.
To a few of them ever escaped, and to the land of the Haradrim came only a tale from far off, a rumor of the wrath and terror of Gondor. And then that's kind of it.
Yeah.
We get a list of the fallen, well, a partial list. And then we're told that later on the bards will sing of this day. And the chapter ends with the song that a future bard will sing in Rohan, the death of King Theoden. But yeah, it's like you said, it's not an insanely long chapter. He doesn't do a lot of complicated description. It's kind of exactly what it needs to be.
Yeah. Because once Aragorn arrives, he's basically like, yeah, they did cleanup. I don't need to tell you the momentum has shifted and it's not shifting back again. So battle's basically over. It just needs to be wrapped up.
I like that. I don't know how many people like that. I don't know how many people would have rather seen an army of ghosts fighting Godzilla elephants.
We need Legolas to climb on one of the Mumakil, kill them with several arrows, and then Tony Hawk his way down.
I think the Legolas stuff's a little ridiculous. I think the CG of the elephants getting taken out by the ghosts was intended to be funny, because you get Aragorn like out of breath fighting 3 orcs, and then behind him just an army of ghosts eats an elephant, and it's comical, but it's intentionally comical. And this is one where I'll say, yeah, the needs of a movie are different from the needs of a book. I think in a movie, when you can watch it, it's an opportunity to have a big set piece, a big spectacle, lots of stunts, lots of effects. I get that. And I think this scene in the movie, though I don't like the elephant stuff as much, I think it's still pretty good. The charge of the Rohirrim is still epic. I think they downplay Éomer a little bit. There's a lot of characters, so I get that too. You can only trust an audience to remember so many names, because God knows nobody remembers it when they read it the first time anyway. But what I like about that in books, when a big battle like this is, one chapter and not an entire second act or third act of a book, is he's getting in and getting out, because he's got more important stuff to say. It's not all hinging on the fact that, hey, there's this really cool battle in the middle of the book. I think that only works in books if you're doing something like what we talked about with Ship of Destiny, where the individual battles are like puzzles, and that's the point of the book. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was pretty well paced. This is one of the shorter chapters of this book so far, and I thought it was exactly as long as it needed to be.
And I will say, I got hyped. I sat down to read this afternoon, and I think I just wound up reading most of the rest of Return of the King. I just started. I read this chapter, and I read like 4 more chapters.
Damn.
Yeah. So, and it's not like fast goings either. This is me going through with my pen, highlighting stuff and writing notes. Notably absent from the battle was Gandalf. Everyone was expecting to see him there. So I can't wait.
Yeah, but we didn't even need him.
We didn't even need him. Though,
Turns out we were good.
I guess it depends who you are. Theoden might have needed him.
Nah, even as powerful as Gandalf was, he could never have prevented that horse from falling on Theoden.
In the next chapter, Gandalf has a choice to make. And he's presented with 2 paths. And Gandalf is like, oh, no matter which one I choose, there's going to be consequences. It's like that decision path in a video game where it's like, which character's going to die? You have
Denethor will remember that.
You have to lose one of them. Actually, Denethor is not going to be remembering much for very much longer.
That's true.
So. All right. Well, we will see you next time for, let's just see, what's that chapter called? The Pyre of Denethor.
That sounds good. I'm sure he'll be fine.
He's going to have a bonfire.
The road goes ever on and on, down from the door where it began. Now far ahead the road has gone, and I must follow it, if I can, pursuing it with eager feet until it joins some larger way, where many paths and errands meet. And whither then, I cannot say.